Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigval the Grim here and welcome to yet another kind of guide video. Today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to do better in raids. And basically this list is composed of 5 things that I wish someone told me when I first started the game and I was trying my luck in raids and I was failing every single time. I will do my best to make you understand as much as possible those tips and to make them as useful for you as possible. Don't forget that first of all, this is my personal opinion. If you have any additional tips, let me know down in the comments. And if you've got any questions, also let me know down in the comments, because I do read all questions and I will answer all your questions to best of my ability. If you like what you see, make sure that you don't forget to subscribe for more content like this and in order to support me as a content creator. So without further ado, let's get into it. The first tip that I have for you is to hit the same boss every single time with at least one of your teams. When you're going to be in a league and you are going to go for a raid, your league leader will most likely coordinate the attacks and will tell you what to do. As a beginner, you will most likely be on cleanup duty. Cleanup duty means that you will need to clear the bosses that are very low on health. But I think usually 2 or even only 1 attack is enough for you to dedicate in order to clean up, and with the rest of the 2 attacks you can ask him to do whatever you please. And what you will need to do is to pick a boss that you want to fight and hit every single raid at least 1 time. Because in raids it is very important that you start by learning one specific boss fight. Because after you've learned one specific boss fight, it will be much easier for you to get from there on. Because you are much more valuable to your league if you can one-shot or get close to one-shotting a specific boss than if you do like 2 million damage all over the place. And this is the best way to get better at raids, because let's say if you're going into a raid and you will once hit Captain Cold, then hit Dr. Fate, then hit Gorilla Grodd, then hit Squarific Scarecrow, and next raid you hit Brainiac. And then you come back to Captain Cold and you are like, well, what mechanics did this guy have? What was he doing? I don't know, I just fought him a month ago. And that's why you need to be constant in your fights and you need to do your best to learn a specific fight. The fight I recommend you learn as a beginner is Phase 1 for 2 reasons. First of all, in my opinion, Phase 1 is the most easy fight in a raid, and it might scare you because it has the first 3 minions and you have to fight 3 little guys before you get to the big guy. But after you kill them, then the raid is the easiest raid in the game. Phase 1. And this is also very beneficial for you, because if in the future you will need to hit Brainiac, but not Phase 1, but Phase 2, Phase 3 or Phase 4, well, Phase 1 has the same mechanics in terms of his abilities and his combos as the other ones, but the other ones are just harder in a way. For example, Phase 2 you can't tag in and out and he doesn't take crits. Phase 3 has hazards. Phase 4 has more or less a time limit if you don't power drain him. But in essence, all of them have the same abilities and the same attack patterns. So you will be much better off learning the easiest one in order for you to transition later into the harder ones. And it will be much easier for you because you will know already most of Brainiac's mechanics and how to avoid him and how to play around them. The second tip that I'm going to give you is to know your team, and this applies to every single fight that you're going to have in Injustice 2. You need to know the strengths and the weaknesses of your team and play accordingly. So what you will need to do in order to do this, you can't do this only in raids, because the raids are going to be once every 3 days, and that is not enough practice and is not often enough. You will go ahead and use the exact same team that you're going to use in raids and try to fight fights in the arena, in Champions Arena, that are as hard as possible. This way you will learn the strengths and the weaknesses of your team and you will learn how to combine them. Yes, raids are very different from Arena and Champions Arena, but the characters that you're going to play are not different, no matter of what mode you use them on. So you need to learn how to use your team, you need to learn how to pair them properly, and you need to learn how to use them at their their most optimal potential. And another thing that you can do in order to perfect this, except playing them a lot, is that you go ahead on YouTube and search the team that you want to use in raids. Or even go before you build your team on YouTube and see what teams are the guys on YouTube actually using in raids. Because that's the best way to inspire yourself. And other than seeing what teams to play, you will see how those guys on YouTube that are pro players are going to play those teams. And you're going to inspire yourself and you're going to try to mimic their combos. Of course, every situation is different and your fight will be different from theirs. But you will find a lot of useful information, a lot of useful combos in the online videos, and a lot about the characters that you are going to play. So right now, go ahead, go on YouTube, search the team that you want to use, and if you don't, just search Injustice 2 Raids and take your pick. But try to do more recent videos, like at most 1 month old, because if you're going to look raid videos that are 1 or 2 years old, they are not gonna be very relevant for you anymore. Another tip that I'm going to give you, and this is pretty obvious, but some of you guys might not know, is that you need to get your King of Atlantis Aquaman as soon as possible. Some of you might even wonder, what is a King of Atlantis Aquaman? Well, King of Atlantis Aquaman is a character that you can find in the League Store. He's quite expensive, I know, but his third ability is going to deal damage equal to a percentage of the boss's max health. So it doesn't matter if he is level 1, at 3 stars he's going to deal like all the way to 1 million and something to the boss only by using one special tree. So he will be a good way, first of all, to deal some decent damage as a beginner, and secondly, he's going to be a character that you can take in any raid at any place. Like every league right now that is hitting higher than tier 6, like tier 7 and tier 8, even though you shouldn't really aim for those leagues for now, tier 6 is so good for you, but those high level players, when you want to join their league, they ask you how strong is your King of Atlantis Aquaman, because this character is the most commonly used in raids character because it's accessible to everyone and is a very strong character that can deal huge amounts of damage, and you can build this guy in order to be your best character that you have in your roster for raids. So you go ahead, you get your King of Atlantis Aquaman from the League Store. After you've unlocked him, you ask your league mates if they can help you with some shards because they're quite expensive, and you build him up to be a beast in raids. The next advice that I'm going to give you is to build one team at a time, and keep in mind that this only applies to raids. In terms of arena, I most definitely recommend that you build a lot of teams at the same time, and you will choose yourself how you split those resources, and I would say that 2/3 of your resources should go towards the teams that you are building for the arena and be split more or less equally amongst them, and 1/3 of your resource should go into only one raid team. And this is because in raids there's much more value brought by very strong characters. Like when you're playing the arena, a team, no matter how strong it is, it has a limited amount of points that it can bring you. Let's say you have a very strong team and it brings you around 300,000 points, and that's great. But at the same time, three moderately upgraded team that you would invest the same amount of resources that you would invest in that one team can bring you even more points. But in the raids there's a difference, because in the raids you can deal huge amounts of damage and there's a lot of value put into how strong a character is. You can't do raids with mediocre characters at good performance. So that is why in raids you should build one team at a time and focus on one specific team and getting that to the maximum upgrade level. After you've gotten your strongest team to the maximum potential, well, not really maximum, level 60 gears is more than enough for you, then you should move on to another team. But first of all, perfect your first raid team and then move on. And the last thing, and maybe the most important thing in this video, is to league and chill. And this has two parts to it. First of all, you need to be friendly with your guildmates, maybe talk with them on Discord and have fun together, because that's the point of the game. This is a mobile game and the purpose of it is to have fun. So you'll get in a league and you'll try to get together with your league mates and have fun together, be understanding with each other and help each other. And why you need to communicate with your team? First of all, because they are going to help you, then they are going to coordinate you where to hit in raids, and third of all, the better you know them and the more comfortable you are with them, the less afraid you are of doing mistakes. And that gets me to the second point. The biggest mistake while you are doing raids you can do is to be afraid, because an afraid player and a scared player will not deal great damage. Even now I remember my first raids when I first started the game, and I was like, dude, if I screw this up, I'll have to wait another 3 days in order to try again. I must get it right. My team depends on me, it's a lot of pressure on me, and I must do this right. Well, you don't have to. And if you go in with this mindset, there will be so much pressure on you then that you will be almost guaranteed to mistake. Do your best to not get so involved, because don't forget it's just a game, and just treat this like a normal arena fight. If you don't stress yourself too much, trust me, you are going to have much better results. And if you do a mistake, no matter how small or big it is, your league mates will understand. And even if they don't understand, there are plenty of leagues and you will eventually find one with good and understanding people. So go ahead and have fun and don't worry about mistakes. For now, this is all I had to say to you in terms of raids. We will see how we develop this subject in further videos. Don't forget that if you have any question for me, feel free to ask me down in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.